All right, so we have passed the midterm, and as we saw, the midterm was all very good. So we have a few more weeks to the end of the semester. So you have come more than 50% of the semester, and we have a few more weeks left and a couple of more things to do. And if you keep up with your good job in the presentation, then things can get done faster for you. So I'm going to wait after your presentation to introduce what is coming up. As I mentioned before, we are going to now move into creating video presentations for the next group of presentations. So you also will have an experience of how to make a video presentation of yourself. Today I will give you the instruction, and then also I will provide you with some samples in the Tron class, so you can see how the students in the past, just like yourself, they did it. And so we will practice just like we did for the presentation. And finally, for the final, we will choose one of those topics that you feel most comfortable, and that would be your final exam. So your final exam would be a video presentation, but we will have a chance to practice at least 2 or 3 presentations. It's the same pattern as before the midterm. Before the midterm, we came here and we not very confident about making a good presentation, so we did practice and practice and practice, and so the midterm was very good. Now we do the same thing, so now you are comfortable talking to a group of people. Then talking to one camera would be maybe easier in some parts because you don't have to see people. But also it's easier in the fact that you can stop the video, you can cut it, you can edit it. So if some part didn't go well, you can redo it again, right? So you have a chance to make your presentation as good as you want. The only thing is that now you need to learn how to work with editing software, video editing software. So if you haven't done that for any of the classes before, I think this is a good time to do. Nowadays, the students are very capable of doing this, and in some classes, maybe they are even required. We don't require like a very fancy video editing, but just at least a basic video editing in case you don't want to do a 4 or 5 minute presentation in a row. If you think you can do that, then also it's fine. And you don't have to do that. You can use Teams. You can use Teams and record yourself. And that's it. If you think you can do one shot, then you don't need to do edit. If you think you want to do something else, then you can need some editing. Anyway, you will see the samples as we'll go through, and so you have some ideas if you want to do what you want to do. So you will have time to do so. So that video presentation would be due in 2 weeks. So you have still 2 weeks to prepare, and I will give you more instruction after we have finished our presentation, hoping that the students will be here. And if they're not here, fortunately, we have a video camera here, and so I can post it on the Tron class, and they can at least see what they have to do, because this is kind of important. And I'm not sure where the other students are. So let's start with your presentation. Anybody who wants to be the first, welcome to volunteer. Otherwise, we'll just do that. Anybody wants to be the first? Anybody wants to be the first? Let me know. Anybody wants to be the first? Okay. Okay, please. I'll go into the last and be the first. Okay. Next time be faster. Yes.
Okay, good morning guys. Here's my
Have a seat and get myself ready. Let Kevin sit down. Make a good presentation so Kevin will wake up. Just give me okay, you're ready, you're ready.
So hello everybody, my name is Michael. And first of all, let us give us back in our back and say good work. Because I know last time it's very hard for us to speak in front of the class and like give the presentation about like using English, and it's very hard. For me too, it's actually very hard. So today, as always, I want to give the presentation about criticizing myself. Okay. So, what is the purpose of my presentation? The purpose is to know what is my strength and my weakness. So, in the next couple of times, whenever I want to give presentation, I won't want to repeat the same mistakes again. And also, you can also learn from my mistakes. In this presentation, I will divide it into 4 outlines. The first one is my strengths, my weakness, summary, and the last thing is conclusion. What is my strength? First is organized and thoughtfully designed PowerPoint. Because I think whenever you want to see people to give some presentation, I think you will be very interested if the PowerPoint is very organized and very thoughtfully designed. Because everybody always loves a beautiful scenery, right? And the second one, I have a nice enunciation. I know for me in Indonesian people, we usually have a strange or weird pronunciation, but at least we try to say like lovely for the words. And the third one, create enthusiasm. See, I have a weird, create enthusiasm. It means that I bring happiness to this presentation, so you can very excited to hear my presentation. And the fourth one, I'm always maintain the eye contact because it's very important to reach the audience eye contact so they can also like focus to hearing your presentation. And the last one is talk fluently. I know sometimes I do have blindly points, like I don't know what I have to talk about, but I just keep talking because it makes me not looking very nervous, and yeah, it's my strength too. And what's my weakness? The first one is a lot of bad phrases such as so, okay, what, yeah, it's like that, yeah, it's like before, yeah, it's okay. The second one, speak not clearly, because I'm always nervous and I do have these habits when I speak, I don't open my mouth very big, so it's not like clearly enough. And the third one is speaking too fast, because what? Yeah, I'm always nervous and I don't have a time to practice, so yeah, I tend to speak a little bit faster. And that is my weakness too. Okay, so let's sum up a little bit. What is my strength? The first one is I have an organized and thoughtfully designed PowerPoint, have a great enunciation, great enthusiasm, and I also maintain the eye contact and talk fluently in front of the presentation. And the second one, what is my weakness? I have a lot of bad phrases, and then I speak not clearly, and I intend to speak very fast. So, what is the conclusion? It means that you need to believe in yourself. I know everybody cannot speak English fluently such as Indonesian, but at least you can try. Believe in yourself. Okay. So that is my presentation. Over. Thank you for listening as always.
Okay, so I think it would be a good idea. I can also have some comments in here. The only comment I wrote for Michael is that it would have helped to have some examples of what he means by good and what he means by not good. Either in the video or picture, he says his PowerPoint is good. So yeah, that would be helpful. Of course, we can see the example of PowerPoint in here. Then I wanted to make the point in here, so Michael told us what's the purpose, to know, and then he gave us the reason why we need to listen to him, because he himself will know what he has to do in the next presentation, and maybe his problems are also your problem. And so he told us what the problems are, but he didn't tell us what he's going to do about that. So that would have been helpful too, right? If he wants us to learn from him. Now, one of the things that was a little bit confusing as far as the strength, Michael said that he has great enthusiasm. Yes, it's a good enthusiasm, and enthusiasm brings energy to your presentation. That's very good. He said he has a nice enunciation. Okay, if that's the case, then he mentioned here that sometimes when he speaks not very clearly, right? Now, when he mentioned that there are many pronunciations, so again, he also said correctly that if you speak clearly with a good enunciation, then your pronunciation people will forget or forgive. So here he did a little contradictory presentation. He said, I am very good in enunciation, but I don't speak clearly. So I don't know, speak not clearly, what does it mean? So again, these are just points that I catch. But the presentation is a good critique and a good conclusion of the whole thing. I don't know why suddenly the font size here becomes so little, but we have so much space, and then we have suddenly 20 that we could easily have this at least 32. Okay. All right. So, any questions on these? Any suggestions on the weakness? So Michael said that he has a lot of pet phrases. Okay, that's a good point. I don't know that expression actually, pet phrases. But in the book, we have a section about filler words. The filler words, and let me see, on page 92. If you have your book, you can take a look at page 92. And in English, what Michael said, pet words, pet phrases, which is, I'm pretty sure that's the expression in English, also called filler words. And that's what Michael was referring to. Filler words are the words that we use in any language. We have those filler words. In Chinese, we have, in Bahasa, I'm pretty sure you have. In English also, there are words like we mentioned, oh, okay, but, and, so, you know, like that, right? And in Chinese, probably we'll say, 这个, 那个, right? Okay, the filler words are okay to have, actually. It's not too bad to have filler words, because sometimes we need to fill the presentation. Like he said, he doesn't like to have silence. So he needs to have, he keeps going, and that's a good thing, as long as he's on the target and he says something that's related. Don't suddenly pause and freeze during your presentation. So that's a good point. And the filler words are also okay to have. because we do need to fill the gap sometimes. We need to say, okay, you know, we do that in the conversation. It's okay to do that in the presentation too. But if it's too many of them, if you do that, repeat that too much, then people's attention will go to your filler words because they keep saying, you know, and so you maybe you talk to some people in English and then you will just say, or you say they say it's like one or two times is okay, but if you make that too many times, people will lose their attention from your presentation because what you want is to have the most attention on your presentation. All right, so good job on that. Let's see who is our next presenter. Kevin, you're next. Since you're the next to the last. Coming to class. After Kevin will be Kelly. And then it will be Alan.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Kevin Tanjaya. I'm a graduate student at Asia University, and today I'm going to self-evaluate myself based on my midterm PhD exam. So my purpose of this presentation is to know myself, to know what is my strength and weakness, and to evaluate myself to become better in the future. So this is my main point of the positive aspects that I have. I think I have a good PPT design and structure. As you can see here, I organized the design and the structure well. And also I have prepared, practice and research well for this presentation because I didn't just took it from one source of website or videos, I took it from another source. So I have a good and full data of information as well. And also I provide picture and videos that make it easier for the audience to understand about the information. As you can see, I have a video here about Lampung and Gamelan, and also provide some information about Guru level. So yeah, I think I managed it well. But I also have negative points, of course, which is I lack of confidence and I lack of enthusiasm. I got no smile in my presentation, and I lack of engagement with the audience. I didn't ask I didn't communicate with the audience for my presentation, and lack of tempo or too fast. As you can see in this video, I see no smile. Of course, I also too fast in presenting my
Indonesia is not just about poverty, corruption, or tradition. Indonesia is also not just about
no engagement.
Indonesia is a country located in the center of ancient
Communication with
resulting in a complex mixture of ethnicity, religion, and content.
and not
According to research,
you can see my eyes.
there are over 1,300 ethnic groups across Indonesia, makes it one of the most diverse populations in the world. And so we have these people somewhere called Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. That means unity.
Yeah. So my conclusion is I need to be more calmer and need to slow down, just relax and not feel too anxious. I also need to engage more with the audience. I need to communicate more with the audience. Ask about what do you think about this kind of topic or something like that. And I need to practice speaking naturally, not just by memorizing facts. Okay, that's it for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Fell short of time. All right, so let me make a comment about today's presentation of Kevin. He looked at his strengths and weaknesses. He said he has good PowerPoint, but we can see that the PowerPoint still remains at a 24. Again, it would be desirable if we have the PowerPoint at 32. So keep that in mind whenever possible to do so. Don't achieve to do that, but I changed only the word good. So it is always desirable to make the PowerPoint at 32 at least. And so if there's too many words in there, it doesn't fit there, that means you have too many words. The reason I'm pushing you to have 32 font is that if you follow that rule, so there are a couple of rules if you follow. One is that the font is 32, and the other one is that no more than 6 words per line and no more than 6 lines per slide. You follow that, then you never will have a PowerPoint that is too wordy. And so here you can see, here, for example, if I want to change that to 32, it's going to fall off. So I'm going to have to figure out how to make that shorter, right? So you could just say provide pictures and videos, and then the rest you need to just explain to us. You don't have to say it. So in his presentation today, Kevin did what Michael didn't do. He has a sample, and a sample of his good PowerPoint. He has a sample of what he thinks is not very good. I'm making these comments because your video you are going to do in 2 weeks is going to be about the same thing, exactly. So in 2 weeks you are going to make a video presentation of the same topic today. Right? So I'm giving you some ideas what you can do to make that video better. And so here he has the video inserted, and he mentioned, and he's talking over his video, and that's really good. So he said, I don't have a good eye contact maybe sometimes, or due to his nervous, he keeps speaking. And you can see here, he has those things, and that's a really good thing. Again, would have been much better if it's a little bit larger, so because we have all this free space in here, we can use it, so why not? And so we could just make these things larger and make the font larger, right? So we can see what you mean by, and it can be, again, you are here, so it could be as a design in the PowerPoint, you can have them come in different places. And so in this way also you can fill out all the empty spaces. All right, so this is a very good thing. So when you're making your video, you could just mention 1 or 2 points about your own presentation, and he was talking over his problem. So it's one way to do, and that's very good. All right, and there is a conclusion and there is a summary. There is a conclusion, but there is no summary for this presentation. So we seem to miss the summary, right? Okay. Again, good presentation, and need better preparation, because also the presentation was too short. So it looks like Kevin did not spend too much time preparing this presentation. Okay, next. We said next is who? Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly. Today I'm going to review the positive and negative side of my best time presentation. And the purpose of this time presentation is let me know where I need to work harder. And if you have the same problem with me, maybe can help you find a solution. And I have divided to 3 positive sides and 3 negative sides. And let's watch the video first. In Tarot. The other 3 locations are Holy, Dongfeng Tanyashen Bicycle Lane. You can rent a bicycle in there, and when you are riding, you can enjoy the nature at the same time. The first one in this part I want to introduce for you Gaomei Residence. If you are interested in the sea, you must go there. Gaomei Residence is west of the Qingshui Castle Plan, and it is a wonderful location for watch the sunset and the beautiful scenery. And we can see, we can find out I have some body language. It is good because it can make me look less nervous. And next one, I have a good eye contact. Can let the audience know I am talking with them. And next one is I have many pictures on my PowerPoint. Can let the audience know I want the place better. And in my next slide, let's watch the video. First, there is a roller skating rink in Taroko Shopping Mall, and it's recreating an earlier roller skating rink. Many people feel like going back in time, and it also can increase the relationship with your partner. And after the end, you can go shopping or have a meal in Taroko. In the next part, I want to introduce some indoor quests. In addition to variety product and in addition to various product and many kind of restaurant, Big Outlet also have a movie theater. We can find out my pronunciation of some vocabulary is not very well. So to overcome this, when pronunciation of some words are difficult, I need to listen the correct pronunciation and try to practice more on it. And next one, I need to find more information on my presentation and put it on the PowerPoint. And next one is I need to have more raising and lowering of tone. It can make the interaction more comfortable. And so when I practice, I need to try to imagine there's an audience sitting on the stage and try to practice again and again. So the positive side of my presentation is I have a body language and eye contact and many pictures. And negative side are pronunciation need to work harder and more detailed information and raising and following of tone. So I think I can do better for my presentation. The most I need is more imagination exercise. And with inner practice, I think I can do better this time.
Okay, I forgot something Kevin mentioned. I forgot to mention about that. He mentioned that he didn't have enough interaction with the audience, right? But that's not necessarily a problem because it depends on how is your presentation and how is the audience and how much time you have. So if you have to make a presentation for 4 to 5 minutes, it's difficult to have this kind of an interaction with the audience, one. Plus, to have interaction with the audience, you need to really be well practiced because you don't know what the audience will answer, and then you may not get into the point that you want to get. So it's good to have an interaction with the audience, yes, or you can like in the hook, you can have some kind of a rhetorical question. That's a good thing to have. Give the audience something to think about. But having an interaction with the audience, asking them a question, waiting for the answer, you have to be really careful with that. So it's not a must, but you need to be very skilled in presentation, and you need to know if your audience will actually respond. So many times I go make presentation to other students or even in my own classes, I ask a question and everybody just look at me because nobody wants to answer, right? And said, oh, how you feel in that case? If you ask a question and everybody just look at you, and if you don't feel confident about your presentation, then you're going to even feel worse because you ask a question and nobody wants to answer it. So I think that's a good point he mentioned, but it's not necessarily a problem. Okay. And for Kelly's presentation right now, she did a really good job, right? The only thing she could add is like what Kevin had was that she could add some writing of what she thought, on her during her presentation. You could add some subtitles. Say, okay, this is like I'm not having eye contact or so on. But you made a very good presentation of your. Let me see if. Yes, so we have the video inserted. Okay, the only thing she's missing is the last two slides, summary and conclusion slide. She did make a summary talk, but there is no summary slide and conclusion slide. So keep that in mind. Those are the required slides, just like outline. Very good. Let's go to next. All right, Alan. After Alan would be Veena.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron. My midterm presentation. Negative points of my midterm report. Here are 4 points. 1. Being too nervous when presenting results in this smooth presentation. A little more relaxed may make from a better presentation. Insufficient practice leads to constant reading of speech during presentation, like this video. Not prepare enough lead to report time is too short, less than 4 minutes. PPT makes too many words and looks too messy. It's original and revergent. Custom points, not many advantage. What there are details on the custom of similarity and how to improve it. And 2. There are 5 key points of the report. Printing, position, topical purpose, and outlines. And I learned a lot from this midterm report, especially the first time I will format just 2 reports in English. Although my performance is not very good, but great experience. Thank you.
Really short. Okay, so let me make some comments about the presentation. First of all, it's really short, only 1 minute and 52 seconds, so that's a really short presentation. And it seems like we forget about all those slides that we need to have, such as purpose, outline, summary, conclusion. Those are just a simple slide to have. So I don't see what is the purpose. At least there is no slide title say purpose, and the fonts here are really, really little. So 24. Again, remember, at least it should be 32. And if you have a space, why not make it 36? Right? We also want to make sure we don't write incomplete sentences, so you could make it in the bullet form. So you could just say, too nervous. I'm just going to show you an example of how I would fix this. Too nervous, right? All right, and so of course we need to have a title slide in here. But I would just make this slide very simple. Again, we mentioned that you don't need to have complete sentences. You are welcome to bring your script, just like you saw Kelly had her script in her phone. You're welcome to bring it with you, but don't make your PowerPoint your script. Your PowerPoint is just to mention some points and bring to our attention. And even though the wording was not too much, but still is too many complete sentences. So then you look at it and say, too nervous, I was too nervous, the presentation is not too smooth, and I should be more relaxed. And then you can explain what you want to say about smooth and so on. So this makes the PowerPoint look very simple and to the point. And if you have a picture here of someone who is nervous or someone who is relaxed, then you can download any kind of picture. It will make it even more interactive, right? So that's the key point. But the good thing is that here we can see he's mentioning the time is too short, and that's a very good point in here. You know, it's not as short as today, but it's a little shorter than it should be. And again, all these font sizes are too small, so please watch your font size. At this stage, if your font is not right size, then I would deduct a lot of points because you have already practiced and you have made good presentations with good PowerPoint. If you have forget about your outline, forget about your purpose, forget about your summary and conclusion, and you just didn't care to put time to make this presentation. So if you don't care, then I don't care. But if you put time, then I appreciate it. All right, let's take a break. Let's take a break, and then we will go to our next presenter. After break is Mina, and then after Mina we go to Ian, and Ben seems to be the last presenter. Also, I'm going to come and check the homework from last week that I did not do it last time. 这样。给我来。Kevin, do not fall behind. We need these right here, right? And also this one. So.没写，没有写，为什么2个礼拜都没有写？啊。 Okay, we can go to our next presenter.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Vina, and today I'm going to insight myself about the last week presentation. I would say sorry about I don't have the purpose and outline, summary, and conclusion this week. So I think my midterm presentation, I have 3 positive points, like I keep my eye contact with the audience and dressed well. I wore a suit, and I have 5 basic elements in the midterm presentation, not for today. And I also have 3 negative in my midterm presentation because I watched my handouts. Because I was so nervous and I remember it, but I'm so nervous, so I forget it a lot. So I need to watch the handout to confirm that I thought it's right or wrong. And my monotonous and I speak so flat and monotonous. I think I need to practice more to have the I don't know how to say that. Just I need to sometimes more loud.
Intonation. Better intonation.
Yeah, better intonation.
Yes.
Yes, and my PPT was messed up in the midterm presentation, but I forgot to put on the picture to show you about that. So I think to solve the problem of watch the handout, I need to practice more. Maybe I can practice every day for 1 to 2 times, and I need to keep it in my mind that I won't forget that. And don't bring the handout, because if I did not bring the handout, I won't read it. And for the flat and monotonous voice, I think I need to listen to the podcast that I can learn how to have the intonation, how to have the intonation. And I also can watch some dramas to learn, or practice talking, always practice talking, and watch stories. And I can watch more like this to practice. Wait for me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, put it on the book. Yeah.
You join me for dinner. That's not a request.
Gently, Master. The girl lost her father and her freedom in one day.
Yes, the poor thing is probably in there scared to death.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I can watch this video to practice the intonation
I can imitate the tongue in the video. So that won't be so less or monotonous. And I said that my PPT was messed up in my midterm presentation, so I think I need to check it twice before I send to track class. And I also need to turn it to PDF. So today I turned my presentation to PDF today. And that's all. Thank you.
That's the word, information. And you actually have good information today. Yes. Okay, so about Vina's presentation, she already told us that she's missing some important slides that we have mentioned. So because you're making a different presentation doesn't mean you have to forget about the presentation format. This is still a presentation about your presentation. So you still need to have, even you can come up with the hook. It would be also good if you can come up with the hook. So all those things we learn applies to any presentation you will do in the future. So don't think that, okay, that was the presentation and now this is the evaluation. No, they're all presentation. And so she mentioned that she transferred this to the PDF. I want to also mention to you that maybe your presentation was not, maybe it looked okay in your computer when you send it, because when you play it here, it's a different computer. And sometimes the font size or the format, it changes because you use a very special font or you use a special characters that suddenly this computer doesn't have. For example, this one is a Mali font, which is a nice font, but maybe not so usual for the computers. So if you, in the future, one solution is like just she said, just come and make it into PDF. That's perfectly a good solution. But if you wanted to use some kind of animation in your presentation and the PDF cannot do that, then I suggest you just use very simple fonts that every computer has. Like, if you go to any computer, usually those fonts that is available, like Arial is always available in every computer. Times New Roman is always available in any computer. So we could change that to Arial and it looks still the same, it's strange enough, but at least it's not that Mali. So it would be better to have it in Arial so when you bring it here it doesn't suddenly mess up. And this happens many times. Even to myself, I have some very special fonts that other computer doesn't have. But she did a good job, and she also did a critique of her own critique. They already mentioned to us that she's missing some slides. All right. Let's go to our next presenter, Ian.
Let me check.
No problem. I have time.
So good morning everyone, I'm Ian. And this is my review the midterm exam report. So let's talk about. And the subject of my midterm exam is prejudice. And my report has the 4 need to improve and 3 positive. And number 1 is always looking my notes. Yeah, so it looks like now confident with the content. So you can see that I always look at my notes. And the second one is.
And 只在满超于
The second one is pronunciation is not standard.
and 只在满超于 is incentive of problem in Taiwan, the prejudice of the failure workers.
Yes, so I say failure, but it's not failure, it's foreign.
Very good.
Yeah, so it's foreign. And the third one is there should be more description in the PowerPoint. So you can see because there's not description on the PowerPoint, and it will make the audience pay more attention for the speaker's links instead of the content. And then the next one is there's an error in the report.
And she's come from the beautiful country, Vietnam. And she's come from the
Actually, she's not come from Vietnam. She come from Indonesia. Yeah, so I'm sorry about that. And
the country is Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
Vietnam, not Vienna.
Vietnam. Oh.
Yeah, Vietnam, because Vienna is another city in Europe.
Really?
Vienna, yeah, we have a Vienna in the city in Europe. So I often have this problem when I talk to the Taiwanese, even some teachers say, I will go to Vienna. Ah, Vienna is in Austria, is a city in Austria.
Ah.
So Vietnam,
Vietnam.
the T, yeah.
Vietnam.
Very good, yes.
And how to improve that? And number one is so number one is number one is practice my pronunciation. Second one is trying to.
You don't know how to say private? What?
Yeah, I forgot it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Pretend pronunciation. And the second one is try to memorize the keywords. And the second one is the third one is PowerPoint as the key sentence like this. This is this is original PowerPoint, and so I can begin this one. Yeah, so the last one is confirm the information and source of the report. So when I review my Minton Chen videos, I found some positive parts. Number one is the sound clear and the voice value is suitable. And number two is content has layers. And number three is PowerPoint does not have too much layers. Yeah, so that's it. So thank you for your guys.
Good. Let's go to Ben.
Hello everyone, I am Ben. I think you all know who am I. And today, my topic is self-examination of midterm presentation. The purpose is to adjust some shortcoming and advantage of my report. This is my outline. In the left, it's talk about positive points, and in the right, it's talk about positive points. So the first problem is facial expression. Facial expression is very important. If you don't care about that, you will be like them. This man, or the woman, or like be me. The man makes people feel, oh my god, I hate the world. So facial expression is very important. The second problem is less eye contact. Let's see a video. So if you make the same mistake as me, you will make audience feel not care about that. Not care about that. So don't do that. Just you practice more. You must can overcome this problem. The first problem is unfamiliar with the process. Remember it, otherwise you will not be able to achieve perfection. So if you are familiar with the process of your presentation, when you are reporting, your tempo will disappear. That's not a good sign. So the only way is to practice more and remember it. Yeah. Next is positive points. The first is confidence. Confidence comes from hard work. You can see that my body is relaxed. Confidence is based on a lot of experience. So just willing to work hard, everyone can do it. Speak clearly. I think I speak pretty clearly. And third is easy to understand. It means to let us know what are you talking about. I don't know why there is a little noise. But the content of my report is clear and easy to understand. As this time. This is my presentation. Thank you for your listening.
Alright, so we see a very good example here. I think Ben, he put a lot of time in preparing this PowerPoint. and preparing and practicing for this presentation, he exactly followed what I asked, and it's very clear to see what he means. Now, the problem of the sound, I'm not sure, but you can do what like Ian was doing. You can just get the clips and use the link to just have it hyperlinked to your video. So as you saw, Ian, he had the videos separate, and so he has the videos in here separately, right? And I don't know why he had to do this in the class, but he could have done this at home. You just go ahead and you link. You can use the hyperlink because he already has used the hyperlink. You can use the hyperlink, and then when you play, all you have to do click here, and goes to the video. What? Yeah. So you can use it just as a hyperlink, and it will never fail. Because also when you insert the video in the PowerPoint, it's risky, and I still don't know why. But sometimes you take from one computer to the other, it may have some problem. But if you use the hyperlink, just like Ian was using, this would be very helpful. Then you never will fail, because as long as the computer has that played. So if your file is MP4 or easy to play, then any computer can do that. So this is one way to do your, so you can use that hyperlink, and he did it. Let me see. And the hyperlink will help. So the other thing is that, just like Ian has in his first video, if the sound is not important, you just want to show the body or body language or the action, then you can just cut the sound. So you just show the video, and he even speeded up his video so we can see his movement, how it is. If the sound is important, then if you use that hyperlink, the sound should always be as.
And today my topic is essential of problem in Taiwan, the contributions of the failure markers.
Yeah, as long as the sound is good in the original video, then the sound would be good every time you play anywhere else. So those are just some techniques about PowerPoint that we can learn. But Ben put a lot of effort. Also missing the last part and the conclusion and the summary, but the rest is pretty good. Okay, now let me take you to the instructions about your next homework, which will be due in 2 weeks. So homework for next week is from chapter 5, and I already sent that to the line group. So it's just the 2 sections in chapter 5. There is not much to do in the book, and the rest of it we will practice here in class. Just like we practice the voice in the class, we also will practice some of those exercises in the class. But for we call this first homework a video presentation homework 1. Okay? So what do we have? We are going to create a video, all right? And this is the link. I will put this in the Tron class. So you click in here, this is where you will upload your video. This is the link to upload the video. You do not upload it in the Tron class, upload it to the cloud. The due date is May 10, before midnight. And the timing is from 4 to 7 minutes. And if the maximum amount of video that you're going to insert should not be more than 20% of the total time. So if your time is 5 minutes, you can insert 1 minute of video. And this is a general rule for future and future presentations. So only 20% of video. And then this video can be video of yourself because you're doing your self-evaluation, or it could be a video of somewhere you find and you want to show us a good body language or good pronunciation or something. You could just find another video and put it there and say, okay, this is how it should be, right? Because you're teaching us also how to make a good presentation. So you could choose other videos, cut it and put it. But if you do so, make sure the sound is the same as your presentation. And so the topic for next week is the same topic as today. You're going to make a video of the same thing you did today, and also hopefully you have advantage today because you came and did the video. You know what not to do or what to do. So some of you were short in time. You know how to prolong it. Some of you have a problem with the format of the PowerPoint. Then you can make it better. So since you are here, you have the advantage of making it better. And then the PowerPoint will be used, and the file format that you will finally give me will be either MP4 or Windows Media. Now, to make a video, you can also use the PowerPoint. So the same PowerPoint you have made, you can also go save it as a video. And it will save it as Windows Media. Of course, you need to speak. So when you go to that, you will have a camera. The camera will come on, and you can also make a PowerPoint presentation with yourself in the video. You have to be present in the video all the time, or 80% of the time. You will see the instruction, more instruction here I give you. And then save it as your ID number, and then your name and the assignment name. So Samka, for example, would be this, Masood, and the assignment is Video Presentation 1, so we just call it VP1. So here are the checklist. Here is a checklist. So you need to make this checklist, check this checklist when you finish your video or before you make your video. First of all, these are the key points of the checklist. Enthusiasm, do you have a review, do you have a conclusion, right? Do you have the proper introduction, the 5 basic things in the proper introduction? If you have a hook, great, then you have a better introduction. Proper body language. So of course, when you're making the video, there are 2 ways. Either you just sit in front of the camera and make the video, or you can stay away a little bit from the video and some part of at least waist up of your body can be seen in the video. It's up to you how you want to make a video. If you want to even borrow a camera and just make a video presentation here live, that's all right too. Or you can ask your classmate to, but if you want to use your classmate to help use the phone to help you videotape, then you need to make sure that there is a tripod because they can hold it and it's going to be very shaky. Alright, so those are the basic things, and then the timing is 4 to 7 minutes. The proper PPT which we talked about today, purpose, outline, font size. Don't forget those basic things because if you're going to miss the basic things, then this time I will count a lot off because they shouldn't be missing that. You already become good at it. Alright. Be enthusiastic. Include your information in the first slide, as you have already done. All right. Make sure you're visible in the video, or at least 80% of the time, somewhere in the video. You will see the examples. I will send to you all the examples. So PPT must be also appear in your presentation. You should have your PPT there. Sometimes maybe you want to have showing your PPT and you are not in the camera, and sometimes you're in the camera, not the whole PPT. It's okay. You can decide on that. But most of the time you have to see the PPT and that. You should have a medium shot or full shot of yourself, and there's some examples of what I mean by medium shot and full shot. All right? And then here comes the slide title I mentioned here again, so you don't forget it. The slide titles that we must have: outline, right? Purpose, summary, and conclusion. And this is a general explanation, so I made it for the purpose especially. Remember, it's only one sentence, and you should tell us what you want us to learn from you and why. So this what and why, I suggest to make it into even 2 different colors in your purpose statement. So you remember that there has to be 2 colors, a what and a why. What you want us to learn? I want you to learn how to be a good presenter. Why? Because next time you're going to make a presentation, you can learn from my mistakes and you can learn from my strengths. Something like that. So this should become a habit for following presentations, all right? So this is just explanation on what is that. And again, keep the camera permanent in a tripod. It's called a tripod if you have a camera, right? If you're going to use a computer or even your phone to record yourself, because you can record yourself and then you can put it in the PowerPoint. There's many ways to do this. You can use, if you're going to use the phone, try to use an earphone, a headset, or a Bluetooth, so that your sound is clear. Because one of the important things is that your sound is clear in the presentation. And then if there's noise around, it's not going to be so terrible. Because if you, like right now, if we are taking his and this camera is closer to the window, the camera is going to take a lot of noise from the road, more than my voice. But if the microphone is close to you, using a Bluetooth or just a regular headset with a wire, it will be much better. So speak out and speak enthusiastically, you know about that. Feel free to move around. If you are going to use the classroom, an actual camera, then you can just move around and make a presentation. It's perfectly okay. All right. If you insert any video, like I said, make sure that the sound is also same as your speaking level. So the video is not too low or too high and scare the people. All right? Okay, and so these are what I meant by medium shot or close-up shot. So this is just example. So this is called a medium shot from waist up, or this is called a kind of a close-up shot. It's from neck up. So here we have again some examples of medium close-up or medium shot. You can use this much of you and the camera, so we can see you. And the more we see you, the better of the body language we can see. All right. So I will put this on the trunk class today. This instruction, and then we should be ready with this for May 10th. So it's 2 weeks from today, right? But the other videos will become a little faster because this is again the first practice. So we will watch it here and then we will make a critic. I will show you the video that will tell you what can be better. But then the other videos should become a little faster. So there will be at least 2 more. Beside this one, 2 more presentations, and the instructions will be exactly the same, and the topic will be up to you. So 2 more presentations at least is coming up beside this one. You can choose the topic, but we need to talk about the topic. So you still need to give me a proposal, say this is what I want to talk about for the next 2 presentations. And you can start gathering your, and so once these are done, your final is to choose one of those topics and make it your final exam presentation. So because we are submitting videos and I'm telling you in advance, once you finish all the videos and you finish the final, you're finished. Right? You don't have to, you can come to class and see what happened, but you're done with everything for this class. So you can adjust your time for other classes, or if you have plans to go summer trip or somewhere, you can take off earlier because you have accomplished everything that is coming up. Okay, so do you have any questions about what is the video going to look like? Has anyone ever done anything like this kind of project, making like a video presentation? During the COVID, this become very popular. So because in all my classes there is some kind of presentation. During the COVID, this is happening, and again, because during the COVID, a lot of things happening on the internet, and even nowadays it still happens. So if you have a job interview, for example, it's very possible that your job interview would be online. And so knowing how to manage all the equipment, and sometimes they even ask you to send a video resume of yourself, like 2 or 3 minutes. A video resume of yourself means, just tell us why you're good for us and so on and so forth, just like an interview. Some companies do that in Taiwan for the first interview instead of asking you to go there. And so this would be a nice experience to figure out how to deal with video presentation and how to do the video editing. If you need to find the software, I think you can start looking for it. And if you already have the ability, then just this first time will take more of your time. This first video, and later on you are more proficient. When you see more examples, you also will be more have more ideas how to do. So I will put those examples on the Tron class. I have to check. I think I did, but I will check and let you know. Any questions? Okay, so very good. Thank you for joining the class. Thanks for preparing those presentations. I'm sorry the other classmates missed it today. So our next purpose is to come up with a video presentation. And if you have any questions along the way, you want me to check something or so, please send it to me and I'll be happy to answer. Okay, see you next week. Thank you.